She was treated like an outsider at her brother's wedding, but her response left everyone silent. Please help us to like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more of this. Rachel, 34, hadn't planned to write anything down or even talk about it. But after her brother's wedding she couldn't hold it in anymore. It was one of those days that cracked something inside her, quietly without drama, but left a scar. Her younger brother Adam was 31, full of charm, success and endless praise from their parents. Meanwhile, Rachel was always the responsible one. The helper. The fixer. She paid bills when money ran low at home. She never complained. And yet it was like her presence had always been background noise while Adam was the spotlight. Their childhood was far from close. Adam caused chaos, breaking things, lying about it and leaving Rachel to take the blame. He's still learning, their parents would say. You're older, Rachel. Set the example. And so she did. Even when Adam wrecked her car sneaking out to a party, she paid for the damage without telling their parents. When he was 21 and got arrested for stealing cologne, she bailed him out without a word. Always the peacekeeper. Always the one cleaning up the mess. Now Adam was marrying a woman named Natalie. Rachel had met her a few times over the past 2 years, but there was never a connection. Natalie was the type who made every conversation feel like a chore. Her eyes wandered, her smile was thin, and her words felt like judgments in disguise. Rachel remembered when Natalie once called her job in event logistics cute. Since then she kept her distance. But when the wedding invitation came, Rachel said yes. She even recommended a top-tier caterer for the big day, one her company often worked with. The venue was beautiful, oak beams, string lights, a shimmering lake in the distance. Rachel arrived early, dressed in soft burgundy and holding a wrapped gift, a custom decanter set with Adam and Natalie's initials. Simple but elegant. At the welcome table, a woman with a clipboard and headset scanned the guest list. Rachel Bennett? She asked. Rachel nodded. The woman frowned slightly. You're listed under +1s, so your seat is by the kitchen entrance. If you'd brought a guest we could have moved you up. Rachel blinked, confused. I'm his sister, she said. The planner paused, wide-eyed. Oh, I'm so sorry. That must be a mistake. Before the planner could fix it, Natalie appeared. Dressed in her perfect white gown, she glided over like a model on a runway. Rachel, she said sweetly, but the way she stretched the name made it sound sour. So glad you came. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. I told the planner about the seating. Hope you don't mind. We had to make some tough calls with space. Rachel stared. You sat me by the kitchen? Natalie gave a soft laugh. Not in the kitchen, just near it. It's where we placed +1s, and while you're not in the bridal party, we prioritized close friends and extended family. Rachel looked beyond Natalie into the reception area. Beautiful round tables, fine linens, soft candlelight. She spotted her uncle, who hadn't spoken to Adam in 6 years, sitting comfortably near the front. Her cousin Liam, who once stole money from their grandmother, had a prime seat too. And then Rachel froze. There was Tessa, her ex-girlfriend from 5 years ago, laughing with a glass of Prosecco just 2 tables from the sweetheart table. Rachel remembered how Adam had introduced them. After the breakup she found out he'd stayed close with Tessa. Natalie followed Rachel's gaze. Oh yeah. We invited Tessa. She and Adam remained friends. She's always been supportive of him. You don't mind, do you? Rachel said nothing. Just nodded. The silence said more than words ever could. She walked to her assigned seat, an awkward fold-out next to the swinging kitchen door. It was loud, warm with kitchen heat and smelled of fish and overcooked herbs. Servers rushed by, murmuring, "Excuse me," as trays of food brushed past her chair. Rachel sat for a moment, breathing it all in. The noise, the disrespect, the sheer ridiculousness of it all. The music began. Guests clapped. The couple made their entrance. Rachel stayed seated, watching. Adam whispered something to Tessa as they walked past, and Tessa's smile lingered too long. Rachel spotted her gift pushed to the side with a pile of other unopened boxes. That's when she stood up. She walked straight to the gift table, picked up the decanter box and turned toward the exit. Natalie spotted her and called out, "Wait, where are you going?" Rachel turned, calm and composed. The room hushed slightly as she said, +1 this. A few gasps, maybe a stifled laugh. Rachel didn't look back. She walked steadily to the parking lot, her steps quiet but firm. Behind her she heard footsteps. Rachel, wait. Adam jogged up, Tuck's jacket flapping. Come on, what was that? Why are you leaving? It's my wedding. Rachel faced him. You let her sit me by the kitchen. Adam winced. I didn't. She did the seating chart. I didn't know. Rachel's voice didn't rise. You gave Tessa a better seat than your own sister. He scratched his neck. It wasn't about that. Natalie just didn't want drama. Rachel raised an eyebrow. Drama? You mean me being in the same room as your ex-friend who dated your sister? He didn't answer. And in that silence, something in Rachel snapped. Or maybe for the first time it held. She didn't shout or toss the gift. She just turned away, unlocked her car and drove off. In the rearview mirror, Adam stood motionless in the gravel, unsure whether to feel ashamed or furious. Rachel didn't go home. She drove aimlessly for hours, windows down, letting the air cool her burning chest. Eventually she ended up at a quiet overlook just outside the city. She parked, stared at the lights of the skyline and sat with the weight of it all. Years of being quiet. Years of being used. And there she made a decision, she wouldn't stay silent anymore. Rachel didn't answer Adam's texts that night. Not the next morning either. And when Natalie messaged her saying, sorry for the mix-up yesterday. Hope you're not still upset. Let's move on. Rachel just stared at the screen. No apology. No responsibility. Just a command to forget. Instead of replying, she opened her laptop. Her fingers hovered over the keys for a second before she got to work. She wasn't planning revenge. Not exactly. But she wasn't going to keep covering for people who treated her like she didn't matter. She started with a call to Nancy, the manager at the catering company she had referred to Adam. Nancy was warm, polite, and honest. Rachel, she said, you were the reason that wedding didn't fall apart. The couple underpaid, changed the guest list last minute and still expected perfection. If you hadn't stepped in with the logistics, we couldn't have pulled it off. That one conversation was all Rachel needed. She wasn't just dismissed at the wedding. She had been used. But this time there were receipts, timelines, contracts. Proof of everything. Rachel didn't explode. That wasn't her style. She moved slowly, carefully. First, she canceled the second part of her gift. A set of crystal glasses that were scheduled to be delivered after the honeymoon. Not only did she cancel it, she redirected it to herself. Might as well enjoy the nice glassware. Then she contacted the wedding photographer, another professional she had referred. If you're still offering a friends and family discount to Adam and Natalie, she said kindly, just know I'll no longer be referring any clients to you. The photographer responded with an understanding silence, then a quiet, got it. It was about a week later when Rachel received an email from Adam. The subject line, need help. That was typical. The man had no clue how to apologize, but he always knew how to ask for favors. Apparently, he and Natalie were extending their honeymoon with a surprise trip to Bali, courtesy of Natalie's wealthy uncle. But things had gone sideways. Passport issues. Flight delays. Villa bookings that suddenly didn't align. You're the only one I trust with this kind of stuff, Adam wrote. You're amazing at logistics. Please help us. There was no sorry. No mention of what happened. Just fix this for me. Rachel almost laughed. She opened a draft and typed, Hey Adam. I'd love to help. Unfortunately, this +1 doesn't take bookings anymore. Good luck. But she didn't send it. Instead, she forwarded Adam's message to an old colleague, Angela, who worked in travel coordination for VIP clients. She didn't ask Angela to help. She asked her to blacklist Adam and Natalie. It was petty, sure. But after everything, it felt more like balance. Rachel wasn't setting fires. She was just stepping back and letting things collapse without her holding it all together. 2 days later, Rachel got a text from Adam. Did you talk to Angela? She said something about being blocked. We're stuck in Singapore. The flights are messed up. The villa won't refund us. Natalie's losing it. What's going on? Rachel didn't respond. That night, while she was having dinner with a friend, her phone buzzed again. This time it was Natalie. She left a voicemail. Rachel, I don't know what your issue is, but Adam is spiraling. This is about the wedding, grow up. You've made your point. Stop being childish and fix it. Rachel laughed out loud right there at the table. She didn't fix it. She didn't respond. But she did know something they didn't. The fallout was only beginning. She remembered Nancy, the caterer, mentioning the underpaid invoice and how the contract included a penalty clause. Rachel followed up quietly. Nancy confirmed she had filed a formal complaint with the venue for breach of contract. Late fees, penalties, withheld security deposits. It was all now official. The bartender had done the same. Suddenly, Adam and Natalie weren't just dealing with a ruined honeymoon. They were now facing several $1,000s in extra charges. And Rachel still hadn't played her last card. 2 weeks after the wedding disaster, she got tagged in a cousin's photo album on social media. The caption read, "Beautiful wedding. Unforgettable night. Congrats Adam and Natalie." Rachel scrolled through 83 photos. She appeared in one, blurry in the background, half blocked by a server near the kitchen. She wasn't in the family portraits. Not in the toast videos. Not even thanked in the captions. But Tessa? Tagged, commented, smiling brightly in 5 different frames. That wasn't an accident. That was a message. That's when Rachel decided she wouldn't leave quietly. She posted a calm slideshow using behind-the-scenes photos from her phone. Images of her adjusting table numbers, fixing flower arrangements, coordinating with vendors. She included a screenshot of the seating chart, where she was listed as +1 Adam's sister. In parentheses. Her caption was brief. Helped plan the wedding. Found the venue. Got the caterer. Arrived early to help. Sat by the kitchen as a +1. Bride said I should understand. So I left. 2 weeks later they asked for help again. I declined. Apparently that makes me petty. The post didn't just get likes. It got attention. Old coworkers, classmates, even extended relatives started sharing it, messaging her, commenting. I knew something felt off that day. You looked so uncomfortable. I'm sorry I didn't say anything. Rachel didn't reply to everyone, but she read each message. It wasn't about getting revenge anymore. It was about finally being heard. And for the first time in a long while she felt like she wasn't invisible. People saw her. Not just her anger but her truth. 2 days after her post, Rachel received another call from Adam. She let it go to voicemail. This time his voice sounded different. Nervous, even shaky. Hey, so Natalie's mom saw your post. Now Natalie's freaking out. Her boss follows you and she's saying you're ruining her reputation. Can you please just take it down? Rachel was at the gym listening with her earbuds in. She played the voicemail twice, then a third time while walking to her car. Still no apology. Still no responsibility. Just panic over appearances. Instead of responding, Rachel made another post. Simple. Been asked to delete my last post. Apparently the truth is damaging to someone's image. I'd delete it if it wasn't 100% true. I won't be silenced for the sake of appearances. I've spent too many years shrinking myself for others. Never again. No names. No hate. Just honesty. And that was the magic. People can argue opinions. They can't argue screenshots and seating charts. That second post traveled even faster than the first. A few days later, Rachel received a screenshot from a mutual friend. It was a company-wide message from Natalie's workplace. A reminder about maintaining respectful conduct on social media and how public behavior reflects personal character. Natalie's boss didn't mention her by name, but everyone knew. That same day Rachel's phone buzzed again. This time it was Natalie's mother. A voicemail, 3 full minutes of fury. You're destroying our family over a chair. Here. One day you'll regret this childish tantrum. Rachel sat quietly then smiled. They still didn't get it. It was never about the chair. It was about years of disrespect. Years of being invisible. Then came the group chat. Adam, in full damage control mode, created a new family text thread and added nearly everyone. His message read, Hey everyone. Just want to address the recent social media drama. Things got blown out of proportion. Let's all move forward. Rachel stared at the screen. Then she typed, Happy to move forward. Once people take responsibility. Not when they call consequences drama. Silence. Then Rachel's aunt responded, I always wondered why you were seated in the back. We thought maybe you volunteered to help with catering or something. Another cousin chimed in, Honestly, I thought you were sick. Had no idea you were treated like that. And just like that, the illusion cracked. The truth unraveled the story Adam and Natalie had carefully built. Adam quietly left the group chat. Natalie blocked Rachel on every platform. About 3 weeks later, a thick cream-colored envelope arrived at Rachel's door. No return address. Inside was a handwritten letter in Adam's handwriting. Rachel, I've been thinking a lot. I didn't see it before, but I do now. I let Natalie make the decisions because I thought keeping the peace mattered more than standing up for my sister. I was wrong. You've always had my back and I made you feel invisible at one of the biggest moments in my life. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm sorry. No excuses. No but. Just that. Rachel placed the letter on her desk and didn't touch it for a week. It wasn't that she wasn't moved. She was. A part of her had waited her whole life for Adam to admit fault without dodging or twisting it. But this wasn't just about one apology. This was decades of being the fixer, the background support, the one who held it all together while never getting acknowledged. Her silence wasn't anger. It was clarity. She had to decide what kind of relationship she wanted from this point on. Thanksgiving came around. Her parents hosted like always. Rachel hadn't planned to attend, but her mother called a week before. It would mean a lot if you came. No drama. I promise. Rachel said yes, not out of politeness, but because she wasn't running from hard conversations anymore. When she walked through the front door, the house felt off. Not tense, just quieter. Cousins gave her small nods. Her aunt smiled awkwardly. And there was Adam helping set up chairs in the living room. When he saw her, he paused, then gave a small wave. Natalie wasn't there. Her mother whispered later that Natalie had other plans. Rachel smiled politely, but inside she knew the truth. Natalie couldn't face the room. At dinner, Adam stayed quiet. He laughed a little too hard at jokes. Kept glancing at Rachel like he was waiting for a signal that all was forgiven. She didn't offer it. After dessert, while others lingered over coffee and football hummed on the TV, Adam pulled Rachel aside in the kitchen. "Thanks for coming," he said. "I meant what I wrote." She nodded. "Thanks for the letter." He looked hopeful. "Maybe we can get back to normal?" Rachel raised an eyebrow. "What does that even mean, Adam?" "For me, normal meant being your backup. The fixer. The afterthought. You put me next to the kitchen while giving Tessa a front row seat." He nodded slowly, regret showing in his eyes. "I know. I don't want it to be like that anymore." Rachel folded her arms. "You can want that. But you have to earn it. You don't get a second chance just because you finally noticed the damage." He didn't argue. "What should I do?" Rachel replied plainly. "Show up. Stop making everything about you. Take responsibility before being called out. And don't come to me only when you're in trouble." Adam exhaled, nodded again. "Hey, I can do that." He didn't hug her. Didn't joke his way out. He let the discomfort linger. And that was progress. The next few months surprised Rachel. Adam began showing up in small ways. Texts that didn't ask for help, just check-ins. "How's work?" Or "Heard about your new contract." "That's awesome." Then one Saturday he knocked on her door holding coffee and a paper bag. "Croissants," he said with a sheepish grin. "Just wanted to hang out." No agenda. No apology reruns. Just time. They watched a game, laughed, didn't mention the wedding. Rachel didn't trust him instantly. But something had shifted and she found herself leaning in little by little. Natalie never reached out. Through the grapevine, Rachel heard she'd lost some social standing. Friends who once adored her now kept their distance. She had a reputation, not the one Rachel gave her but one she earned. By spring, Adam quietly announced that he and Natalie were taking space. Not divorced but no longer pretending everything was perfect. Rachel wasn't shocked. When they had lunch one day, Adam confessed, "I think I got so caught up in impressing people I forgot how to be real." That summer, Adam invited Rachel to his backyard for a simple birthday cookout. No suits. No speeches. No centerpieces. Just burgers, folding chairs, and a cooler of drinks. "You're on grill duty," he said, tossing her the tongs. "Tradition, right?" Rachel chuckled. "You're lucky I like you again." Later that night, as the sun dipped and laughter buzzed through the yard, Adam raised his bottle. "To Rachel, for showing me what a real sibling looks like even when I didn't deserve it." She clinked bottles with him and said, "Took you long enough." There was no applause, no dramatic music. Just a quiet moment of truth. Forgiveness wasn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It was about deciding who you'd still give a future to. Rachel still kept the wedding decanter in her cabinet. Not as a wound. Not even as a reminder. It was just glass now. Solid, elegant, finally used the way it was meant to be. And for once she wasn't the one holding the roof up alone.